this coffee table set at an estate sale a few days ago, and I was able to scoop up all 4 pieces for $60. A lighter version of this kind of 70s, early 80s cane webbing has come back into style and been an incredibly strong interior design trend for the last few years. So I always like to scoop it up when I find it. It's really easy stuff to update with a little bit of paint, and that is exactly what I'm gonna do. Hello furniture friends, Katie here from Salvaged by K. Scott. I am pumped to get started working on this set. It's all in pretty amazing condition, especially compared to the furniture that I usually get to work on, but it does have a few big spots where the lacquered finish is bubbled up and starting to chip away from the wood underneath, which for me makes this stuff perfect for a makeover. I do think I'm gonna break up the set though and tuck the octagonal side table away because I've got a bit of a different idea for that. Once I get that all fleshed out, I'll definitely share it with you. And I'm just gonna be working on the main coffee table, the other side table, and the sofa table today. My plan is to lighten up the cane inserts and then use some enamel paint from Home Depot to paint the frames black. First thing I need to do is remove all of the glass panels, wrap them up, and find a safe place for them to chill so I don't have any accidents. And then I'll clean all of the tables with some of this all-purpose degreasing cleaner and warm water. I always start my projects with this step just because you never know what's on the surface of used furniture, and there's usually some sort of furniture polish residue on there, if nothing else, and that can really resist a painted finish. Once everything was dried out again, I put a coarse grit sanding pad on my little detail sander. This is going to help me mold around all of the details on here and help to scuff up the surface enough to create the texture or tooth that I'll need for my paint to make the best bond. But I do want to note here, you definitely do not need a fancy sander or professional grade sanding system to get this done. You could use any foam sanding block to do the same thing pretty quickly by hand. I made sure to pay special attention to any of these spots where the finish was failing so I could get all of that loose stuff off and create a smooth transition between the old finish and the spots that are now bare wood. I don't need to sand through the factory finish on all of the surfaces. My goal here is really just to dull that shine and make it feel smooth. I did also sand the cane, but I did it with a really light hand. This stuff is delicate, it's grass, and you can sand right through it or even just tear it without much effort, and having to repair cane webbing or completely replace a panel is a whole different project and not one that I am interested in undertaking. I wiped the tables down with a damp microfiber cloth once I was done sanding to pick up any dust that was left behind, and then I decided to prime these with some clear shellac. The paint that I'm going to be using on these does recommend a separate primer, but since I'm going dark, I don't really want to use a light colored primer like I usually do. This clear shellac means that if there is ever a chip or scratch in my paint job, the dark wood color is what will show through instead of the typical white or light gray primer. And shellac sticks to everything, and pretty much everything sticks to shellac. It is a great adhesion primer. That got about an hour to dry, and then I moved on to lightening up the cane. The top of the panels have the same tinted lacquer treatment as the rest of the tables, but if I flip them upside down, I can see the natural color of it here. So I tried my best at Home Depot to match the color from memory, and I got pretty close with this Dainty lace pale yellow from Behr. It's not a perfect match, but it'll get the job done. I grabbed myself a clean brush and then I just barely dipped the bristles into the can and used this kind of crisscross motion to work the paint into all of the little crevices in the cane. If you get too much paint on your brush, it's just gonna drip down through the holes and make a huge mess. So I find this kind of dry brushing works best. I did 2 coats of this, one right after the other to get an even color, and then I left it to dry overnight. The next morning, I took some time to mask off all of the cane panels with some low-tack painter's tape and paper so that when I spray the frames of the tables, the cane is going to stay nice and clean. Then I laid out a drop cloth and set all of the tables upside down on some plinths to keep them up off the ground, and also took a second to peel off all of these old felt pads on the bottoms of the feet. I got out my Wagner Flexio electric sprayer. This is the 3000 model, and the detail finish nozzle, which is perfect for spraying small furniture surfaces. And I grabbed this can of leftover paint from a dining set that I painted a few weeks ago. I had about half of this quart left over from painting a dining table and 4 chairs, so it should be enough to do all 3 of these tables too. This satin enamel is an interior-exterior paint that's got all of the durability qualities of an oil-based paint, but in a water-based formula that can easily be cleaned up with soap and water. That is why I love it. I poured the paint through a paper strainer after I mixed it really well, just to make sure there weren't any little dried bits in there that might clog my sprayer. This paint has got great self-leveling properties in it too, so it can be brushed, rolled, or sprayed like I'm doing today, but they do recommend not thinning it with anything. It's a little bit too thick for me to get good results with my pneumatic spray gun, which is why I've chosen the Wagner electric option here. If I push this thing up to all of its max flow settings, I've had really good results spraying this paint unthinned. Behr recommends 2 coats of this paint for maximum durability, and they suggest 4 to 8 hours in between coats, with darker colors taking a little bit longer than the lighter shades. So once I had this first coat on, I just went about my day and came back about 6 hours later to spray the second coat. The next morning, I was ready to flip all of this over and get the rest of the paint on the tops. I just made sure to wipe everything off to get any little crumbs that were stuck on there from being down near the floor. I also had a little scab of paint over the spray tip from sitting overnight, so I picked that off with my fingernail and kept on going. There is definitely a little bit of that orange peel texture that this paint gets when it first hits the surface, but it does level out so incredibly smooth as soon as it starts to dry. And this was the same thing. I sprayed on a coat, waited until about that 6-hour mark, and then came back for my last coat on the tops just to fill in any light areas that I hadn't hit previously. When all the paint was dry, I peeled up the masking paper and tape, and I had just a couple of little spots on the corners that I needed to fix up, so I grabbed a little artist brush and hit those corners with some more of my Dainty lace. This paint does need about a week to cure enough to start using it, but it doesn't need any additional top coat. I brought the tables inside and put the glass back in so that I can show you what they look like now, but then I'm going to take that back out and let it finish curing so that the paint doesn't stick to the glass. I am so happy with how these turned out. They still have lots of vintage character, but now they're easily able to fit into a more modern home. I think if I was going to be listing them for sale, I'd be asking somewhere between $500 to $600 for the set. $200 to $250 for the coffee table and the console table, and then another $100 for the side table. That is a great margin on the $60 initial investment, $60 worth of paint and primer, some masking tape, and about 6 hours of total labor. Anywho, I hope you had fun working through this project with me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Remember to subscribe for tons more furniture flipping inspiration, and I will catch you all next time.